Hello everybody and welcome back. Today I'm going to show you how I made this LED lit frame for pictures. After finding the dimensions I needed, I traced them out onto 1/8 inch MDF and cut them out using my scroll saw, though that may not have been the most appropriate tool. I then hardened the edges by letting them absorb liquid crazy glue. My speed square was then used to trace out the location for the 1-inch wide inner support frame. I then marked my cut lines on a piece of 1x2 and once again used my scroll saw to cut them to size. Before moving ahead, I did a dry test fit to see how everything looked. Some parts were a bit too long, so I sanded them down to fit and also hand sanded each piece to promote better adhesion for the wood glue. I then realized that I should add some slots for power cables as well as handholds for when I need to remove this from the wall. Next, I began the process of drilling pilot holes, marking where they should connect for the next pilot hole, and using wood glue and screws to hold my frame together. I also used my sanding drum to increase the slot size for my power cords. In hindsight, I should have made these much larger as I had to go back later and adjust them. With a healthy bead of wood glue on the frame, I pressed it firmly in place, flipped it right side up, and drove in a few finishing nails to give it additional support. I then went back and added even more wood glue along the edges. To help fill in the surface pores, I sprayed filler primer on top and lightly sanded it smooth, let it cure, then I gave the entire project several coats of satin black. Once dry, I used painter's tape to box in my picture frames, mark their centers, and nail in the picture hangers, and then I gave each picture a quick test fit to make sure everything stayed aligned. Not convinced with the strength of 1/8 inch MDF and a nail, I surrounded each hanger with hot glue as well. Aided by my helper cat, I added 90-degree clip-on connectors to each length of LED lights. Always double check that you are connecting them in the correct orientation. With that complete, it was time for a functional light test. After removing the paper backing of each length of self-adhesive LED lights, I pressed them in place and also added a bit of hot glue to each of the 90-degree connectors for additional support. Short lengths of self-adhesive Velcro tape was added to help better hold into place both the power supply and the LED controller to the frame so they wouldn't fall out during mounting. For purely aesthetic reasons, I added self-adhesive cord cover kit to better manage the power cables. When you're finished, plug your power cord in, and now you're done.